We have talked about various units. Most recently, we were talking about units of length. Today, we're going to be talking of units of time, something you're very familiar with and use every day. So just as we can measure length in yards, feet, inches, centimeters, etc., we can measure time in hours, minutes, and seconds. Words you use all the time. What are some other units of time? Can you think of a few more? Did you think about days? More coming to mind. Months, years. How about even bigger than a year? What about a decade? Do you know how many years that is? 10, right? 10 years. What about a century? Do you know how many years that is? 100 years. So all sorts of different units of time. But today we're going to talk about hours, minutes, and seconds. So these are some conversion scales which can be found on the pages in your math journal. And I've made up some problems off to the side for converting units. But first, first I wanted to get to the must knows. If you don't already have this memorized, you need to know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Say that 5 times fast. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. 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 You got it. And you need to know an hour equals 60 minutes. Say that 2 times fast. Hour equals 60 minutes. Hour equals 60 minutes. Gotta have those down and memorized if you don't already. Now, let's try these problems converting units, meaning changing from minutes to seconds or hours to minutes. But this time it's not so simple as just having one. This time now, what if we had 2 minutes? How many seconds of that is that? And you could think, well, if we have 2, then it's just going to be 2 times 60 seconds in each minute. So we'd have 180 seconds, right? 2 minutes is 180 seconds. Or maybe you did repeated addition. You did 60 seconds plus 60 more seconds. Let's do 10 hours. If we wanted to go from hours to minutes, well, our rule's going to be the same, right? Times 60, because 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we'd just have to do 10 times 60 to give us, do you know? Test yourself. 600. Woo! 600 minutes. Okay, now I'm giving you a really big one. What about 50 hours? 50 hours, nothing you can't handle though, because we know we'll just do our rule times 60. And check this out. This is just an extended fact, right? We know 5 times 6 is 30. And then 2 zeros in our factors. Put 2 zeros in our product. So you'd get 3,000 minutes. Now I want you to pause the video and check these on the conversion scale, and then play the video back when you're ready to see. So you should have noticed on the minute-second scale, oh my goodness. See, this is why we check. Teachers make mistakes too, and you might have been yelling at the screen. 2 minutes is 120. Whew. 2 times 6 is definitely 20, not 18. That would have been 3 times 6. Apologies for that. That's why we check. 120 seconds. And then, well, now I'm really making sure we checked. With this one, we had 10 hours would be 600. And then we had 50 hours would be 3,000. Well, that doesn't appear on our scale, so we can't check that one on the scale, but we'll just double check our math there. Looking good. Okay, so next up, we're going to do some word problems with converting units. Take it to the next level. So here are the number stories for you. Let's do one together, and then I'll have you pause and try the other ones on your own. So we have our steps to problem solving, and up here, read them with me. Read to understand, plan, solve, and check. Let's start by reading the first problem. On Tuesday, Feeker spent 4 minutes on typing.com, Callie spent 5 minutes, and Macy spent 6 minutes. how many seconds did they spend all together? So the question here is how many seconds did they spend all together? I'm going to underline my question. And what keyword do you notice in there? Yeah, seconds, right? But that's weird because they gave the times in minutes all throughout and then given seconds. It's a trap. They're trying to trick us. But you are not going to fall for the trap because you always read to understand. So now we know what it's asking. Now we need a plan. What do you think our plan's going to be? I think my plan is first I'm going to find the minutes, the total minutes together, and then I'm going to convert to seconds. Or I could say, then I'm going to find out how many seconds. So how many minutes, how many seconds. Okay. So first, how many minutes? Well, to do that, we would add them up, right? Because it said all together. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 6 more is 15 minutes. But now we want to take this 15 minutes, step 2, and put it into seconds because it was being tricky there. So I'm going to take the 15 minutes I have. Do you remember our rule? Times 60. And that will give me my seconds. This is a little bit of a tricky math to do because we'd have 15 times 6 here as our basic fact. It's not just a simple extended fact. So I might write that off to the side. And I'm thinking 15, just if I wanted to just do 15 times 6. Well, I know 10 times 6 is 60. And I know 5 times 6 is 30. So together, that's 90, right? So 15 times 6 is 90. So we'll put our answer of not 90. This was our basic fact, got us 90. But now we had 1 0 in our factor, 1 more 0 in our product. So 900 seconds. So we read to understand. We made our plan. We actually solved it out. And now we need to check the most important step. Check your work. I always say, think, does my answer make sense? So let's think about this. If they did 15 minutes of practice, well, that seems reasonable. And 15 minutes, if each minute is 60 seconds, does that sound like it could be 900 seconds of practice time? Yeah, my answer makes sense. So I'm going to check that off. Okay. I want you to pause the video and give problems 2 and 3 a try. Remember to use all your steps for problem solving. Once you press play, we will go back over them. Let's talk through these and see what you got. So for number 2, Mrs. George required everyone to read for 20 minutes, but Betsy went above and beyond and read for 31 minutes. How many more seconds did she read past the amount she was required to? So I underlined my question, circled that keyword, and I made my plan. First, I wanted to find the minutes, and since I wanted to know how many more minutes, in this case, I took what she read, 31, subtracted the required 20, and found out she read for 11 more minutes. Now I needed to convert that into seconds, so I took 11 minutes, multiplied it by 60 because there are 60 seconds in each minute, and I got 660 seconds. If you agree, give a woohoo. Okay, let's check number 3. Our class took 2 minutes and 20 seconds to walk to recess every day in the week, which is 5 days in a school week. How many seconds is that in all? So this one I actually did in kind of 3 steps, and I'll be interested to see if you did it the same way. So follow along with my steps. I forgot to underline my question. I should have put how many seconds is that in all. All right, so the first thing I did was I knew we were doing this 5 times because there are 5 days in the week. So I took my 2 minutes times 5, and I knew that was 10 total minutes. And then I also took my 20 seconds times 5, and I knew that was 100 total seconds. Now I looked and I saw, oh, they want my final answer in seconds. So this 10 minutes is not going to work. So I took this 10 and the 10 minutes and converted it into 600 seconds just by doing 10 times 60. And then finally, I had to add up the 600 I just got here, right? Plus that 100 seconds I'd already known. And then I got a total of 700 seconds. Now, you could have gotten 700 seconds a very different way. Maybe you converted first. Right off the bat, you said 2 minutes is the same as 120 seconds. So this is 140 seconds, and maybe you took that and you multiplied it by 5. That would be a great strategy as well to get you 700 seconds. Perhaps there's a strategy I'm not even thinking of. So there are many different ways to arrive at the solution of 700 seconds, and that's why problem solving is so much fun. And I hope you'll have fun trying out the units of time problems that you do today.